Well, good evening, everybody. Let me just say this. We're talking about a topic we've talked about before, but it's new. You see, Elgato has released version 6.6.1 of the Stream Deck software, and it's time to see what those changes are. And so we're going to talk about Marketplace, brand new. It's been out a little bit, but we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about preference changes, what's new in the preference pane, and then some added features. Maybe not all of them, but certainly some of them. That's our discussion in tonight's live stream. And this is important because purposeful leaders, the people that I serve and the people I want to serve, you purposeful leader out there, we have a lot to do. And one of the ways to get a hold of it and get control of it is to use automation. And a key part of automation in my world is using the Stream Deck. It helps me reduce friction and achieve results with a little bit of ease for those things that I do on my computer. It's my control center, if you will, for working on my computer, for doing that work that takes me there. Now, I'm not using it on for iPads and phones, but definitely on the computer. And as leaders, we do a lot of work on these computers. Now, in my case, I use a Mac. So let me tell you, who am I? Who is talking about all this Stream Deck stuff? Well, I'm Florence. I'm a productivity practitioner, and I work with purpose-driven leaders to help you find and fix the friction points in your productivity system. Those are things we find all the time, and I do that through videos and tutorials and coaching. That's what we're going to do today, a little bit of video tutorial and a little bit of having fun and hanging out together. Again, welcome to Purposeful Productivity, and I'm so excited that you're here. Let's go ahead and dive in, and I'm going to talk about three things tonight in three parts, and they are, we're going to talk about the marketplace, which I mentioned, and what's different about it. There's a lot of stuff in there. We're going to talk about the preference pane that I mentioned for the Stream Deck, some of the changes that are in there, and just navigating it a little bit. And then we're going to go over the features. So real simple tonight, marketplace preferences and features. Before we do all of that, however, I want to say hello to some folks who are here in the building with us this evening. I'm going to start with, oh my goodness, Dagan, so glad to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope all is well. All is well. I'm so glad to see you. Yeah, I love my Stream Deck. I really love my Stream Deck. And Inanea, I got your message. So glad for you. Enjoy your function. Hello, the emotional CEO. Happy Friday and happy Friday Live Tribe. All of you who are hanging out here with me. And I want to say good evening, if I can get it to come up, to Frank Jackson. And here's the trick. Frank is actually hanging out with me, not only in the live stream commenting, but he is here in live audience, able to wave at me and make faces at me and talk to me in our lounge. You'll hear more about that in the coming days, but he's in the lounge with us hanging out this evening, and so glad to have you here. It's really nice. And we're using the to do that, the lounge is in Zoom. So we're using the Ecamm for Zoom. I use Ecamm for broadcasting, for live streaming, for video, for just about everything, for meetings and webinars and courses. And I'm now really leaning into the Ecamm for Zoom. So if you're a Mac user and you want to have a great time and you want to be able to have people come in and do really wonderful work and share your production quality on screen with them, give it a try. We have a link that's in the description, as well as if you're interested, we'll go ahead and drop it in the comments. One of the moderators will drop it in to the comments. So let's go ahead and talk about the marketplace. What is the marketplace? And I'm going to do a little bit of a demo if I can get to the right place here. But the marketplace is, let me get to the right place, is a website. It is now the Elgato Marketplace. It replaces the Elgato store that you used to get to from within the Stream Deck software. When you go to, and I'll show you a little bit later on the Stream Deck window how you get here, but it gives you not only the features that you had, but it gives you new features. So you have plugins here that you can still pick and use whatever they happen to be. Let me get this out of my way. You have, oh, let me go back. I hit the wrong button. You have icons that you can pick. And then one of the things I want to point out here, when the Stream Deck store was in existence before it got replaced with the marketplace, all of the resources in the Stream Deck store, in the Elgato Stream Deck store, were free. Now, some of the resources are free. Many of them still are, but some of them are also paid. And the reason that is, Elgato has opened up the marketplace to have a space for creators to share with the world their creations, whether it's plugins or music or icons. So you may find profiles and other items that really will help you and benefit you, but they've been provided by a third party, by another creator. So as you go through the marketplace, pay attention, and when you find something that works for you that will be beneficial for your productivity, don't be shy and say, I'm not going to use it just because it's, $5, right? If it's something that's really going to make a difference in your productivity, in you getting things done, in you accomplishing your work, then it's highly likely that it's worth the investment. So all of the same things are there. You also need to create an account for the marketplace. So you have to log in. It's a website. So up here in the upper right, you'll see sign in. Now I'm going to try this. I did it earlier, but we'll see what happens here. Oh, and it's telling me I got to sign in. Let me move myself. I'm going to connect with my, oh shoot. I'm going to change screens here because I don't want to put my password in and have you guys see it. So we'll go back to that because Florence did a no-no. But you'll create an account. I have mine linked to my Google account, so I'll get that straightened out so you can see it. And I'll show you on the preference screen where to go to the marketplace. If you're on your computer and you have never created your account in the marketplace, I would encourage you to create the account quickly. And hello, Roy, I see you out there. So glad to have you in the building with us tonight. And I know you use a Stream Deck and you can probably give this material just as well as me, along with Dagan, because you both use your Stream Deck heavily. And yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So the first one is the marketplace. The next one, however, is preferences. And I'm going to see if I get this correct. Let me do something here. I'm going to make a change here. This is Ecamm at its best. I am going to do something in a minute. But going to preferences, we're used to it. So if you go to preferences. Here, it should bring it up. It's the same preference. So if you have your Stream Deck open, you click on the preference icon, and you can do that by right here, these four icons at the top, in the upper right, there's a bell, there's a colorful icon, there's a gear, and then there's a little person. Those four icons will help you navigate. The colorful one, the second icon, will take you to the marketplace and it'll open up the website. That's how if you use Stream Deck and you go into the software, just click on that little colorful icon and it will take you to the marketplace URL. And then you can create your account and you can log into the marketplace. And you'll be able to, again, get plugins, profiles, icons, sound effects, music, and screensavers right from within the marketplace, just as you did with the original Stream Deck store. The difference is there are more options available today, and not everything in the marketplace is free. That's the takeaway I want to make sure you are aware of. So to get to preferences, you just click on this gear right here in the Stream Deck software, and it'll open up the preference box. This is the preference box. And you have tabs across the top. You have general. This is where you can check for updates. If you check for updates, you should see your software version should be at 6.6.1. If it isn't, if you click on check for updates, it'll let you know there's an update and you can install the update right there. Devices, this is, Roy, you'll like this. This is what devices do you have? I have several now. I have the mobile, Stream Deck Mobile on a phone and on an iPad. I have the Stream Deck Plus, and I have the Stream Deck Pedal. So each time you add a new Stream Deck device, mobile or physical, your devices will show up here as you register them. Accounts, whatever accounts you have connected to your Stream Deck. I've got two YouTube accounts connected. I disconnected the Facebook accounts because I'm not live streaming the groups, and I've never live streamed to a page and don't plan on live streaming to a page. Well, hello, Miss Natalie. Glad to see you in the building this evening. Profiles, same in preferences. So as you create profiles, you see I got a bunch. They show up here so you can navigate to your profiles. Plugins, this is a little different. Now, when you are in preferences, you can see all the plugins you have downloaded from the marketplace. You see, I have a bunch here, a bunch of them. And then the last one is style. So you can style, or I use the word configure, your Stream Deck buttons to, if you use a multi-action button, so it'll show a progress bar as the different steps in the multi-action are running. I like seeing that so I can see when those steps are just about finished. But you can turn it off just by clicking. If when you create a button, you always want to see the title of the button, I turn this off because I use icons. You just click it, turn it on, uncheck it, turns it off. I like my titles when I do use them to be in the center, but you can have them at the bottom of the button, in the center of the button, or at the top of the button. Then you can pick a font for the buttons. This is really if you're not using icons to cover up the titles when it becomes important. But so you can pick whatever font that's on your computer. Again, I use a Mac, so any font that's in my Mac font book will show up here and I can pick them. Then you can set the size of the font and then things like bold, italics, underline, and even the color of the text. I leave it on white. It works because I don't really use it. You can say if you have, this case I have a Stream Deck Plus, so it says I have dials. I can show the title on the dials and I can set a color on the dials. And then this little icon here, this is the icon I have on my Stream Deck when I just want to bring up the configuration panel. And it's literally the Elgato logo. You can make it whatever you want. I know that that's what it is and it works for me. So I use the Elgato logo. This is styling your buttons on the Stream Deck that you can do if you just want to use them plain vanilla. Works quite well. That's the preferences. So again, if you haven't updated to 6.6.1, I encourage you to update to 6.6.1 and you'll get the new features. So let me remind you, if you have a question, please go ahead and ask your question so that I can answer it for you. This evening, I want to make sure I answer questions for you. And so if you have any, put them in a Q colon in front of them and drop your questions in the comment, in the chat, in the message. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. Glad that you are. Leave a comment, leave a question in the comments. I'll be glad to respond to you. I do respond to those comments. I do respond to questions. And your comments help me know what it is you want to see, what video tutorials I can make that will be beneficial to you. So that is the most important thing, is that I'm beneficial. What I'm doing is beneficial and bringing you value. So please leave comments and questions as much as you have questions about productivity. In this case, if you have questions about the Stream Deck and how I use it, you'll have this month of June to ask me questions about it. Now, let's go to the last part, which is actually using some of the new features. And I'm going to try to do this without it being a big problem. So I've created like a little demo profile. I'm going to start that question. I created a little demo profile and I've just got some random things on here. And this is to show you a couple of the feature changes that have happened. One of the big ones is using folders. Prior to these recent versions, I rarely used folders. And to create a folder, you just click on a button, right click. Nope, that's wrong. I'm clicking in the wrong place. Right click on the button and create folder. That creates a folder on that button and it makes a little icon of a folder. If I go to that folder, I now have a page of blank buttons and I can put anything I want on these blank buttons. Here's the difference, the thing that I didn't like about using folders. You literally just have these buttons. In a profile, you can add pages. In a folder, you cannot add pages. What you can do is add more folders inside folders. So you can keep going levels deep with folders. But here is the one of the beautiful changes. If you highlight this up arrow to take you back up to the folder above, right here below the title bar is something that says auto exit, new feature. If you turn it on, you can then say exit this folder after X number of seconds, after 1 second, 5 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever makes sense. So when you come into a folder and you use any button in that folder, if you have set auto exit, the Stream Deck will pop you back up to that top level folder. It'll exit out of it. So you don't have to remember to get out of it and where were you and whatnot. This works really well if you're just one folder deep, right? So if you're multiple folders deep, it's going to keep popping back up until you'd have to set that option to auto exit all the way back up to get you back to the top level. So that's the reason I say it's really good one level deep. When you start going 2 and 3 and 4 plus levels deep in folders, I don't envision a smooth way to use it. And the whole idea is to get rid of friction. So it's take it for what it's worth. The other thing that you can do in the folder is you can set auto exit on a button. And I didn't set one up, but you can, according to their instructions, set a button. So let's see. If I do mute and unmute on this button here, I'm supposed to be able to set, the word just went out my head, auto exit. I'm not seeing that auto exit option. I've only done it at the folder level so that it pops all the way up out of the folder. Their instructions say you can do it on an individual button, however. So I'll dig into that and let you know. I'll play with it. So that's one thing, the folder feature to get in and out. Now, one of the other things is if you have a button that you use regularly and you want it to you want it to show up on multiple pages, you can now take that button. This little blue with this little house is my home, which means take me back to my home profile. If I right click on it and pin it, it turns gray. That means it's available to me everywhere that I use it, and it'll stay in that same spot. It won't move around on me, and I'll have access to it. So now you can pin buttons or actions that you create on your Stream Deck. Very useful if there's something that you always want to have access to, and you're using, like I use multiple pages, multiple profiles, multiple Stream Decks. So this is turning out to be quite useful to me. The next thing I want to talk about is you can copy pages. So like this page here that I've got these icons, and this is just for demo. If I want to copy everything on this page to another page on another Stream Deck, then all I have to do is right click on the page number. I can duplicate it. That just made another duplicate page of it. I can right click on it and I can copy it, and I can go to another device. Let's say I go to my Stream Deck Plus and I'm going to create a page, and I'm going to I can't paste. I'm going to paste it. So I just copied that. I didn't need to create this one. I just copied that page to my Stream Deck Plus. Oops, I deleted the wrong one. Let me go. There it goes. I copied that page to the Stream Deck Plus. So before this capability of copying pages existed, if you had actions that you wanted in different profiles or you wanted on different devices, you had to copy one button at a time, back and forth. Now you can take a whole page and copy it and then modify the page much faster. It reduces the amount of work that you have to do to start with a base and then be able to modify the pages multiple ways. So if you have, I saw one question. If you have another question, please let me know. Get it to me. And I want to do this, I want to do this, and I want to do this. So I am going to come back here and I'm going to see, we've got a question, and I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A here. Let me go back here. Hold on a second. All right. So if you have questions, let me know. And here is the question I'm going to answer because I think this is do you use profiles with different eCam setups? I am starting to. I have, and I have one that I do use for pre-recorded content, and it's a profile specifically for that because I don't need some of the things and I don't use some of the features for that I use during live streaming. Like I don't really use comments when I'm doing a pre-recorded video. I am one of my to-dos over the weekend is to make a profile where I am managing vertical video. So I will create an eCam profile and I will create a Stream Deck profile specific for recording vertical video and potentially even editing some of that vertical video. So I do use different Stream Deck profiles for not as much for scene setups, and I'll show you the reason that is the case. Let me go to, I'll show you the reason I don't. That's because I do my scenes a certain way. Like I number them and they kind of flow in an order, and then I have a title and I have a call to action that's always there. I have when I bring up questions always there, comments always there, and I've got four pages here. And on my Stream Deck Plus, I've got some other things like managing my audio, the volume on my mic or my guest mic, that kind of thing. So those stay pretty fixed, and I do it the same way. You can let me know, do you use different profiles on your Stream Deck for different eCam scene setups? That would be interesting to play with, but I've just done it this way, so I haven't changed it. It works for me. My brain has now gotten used to working with the layout this way, and it works for me. So that's the answer to that question. And then, of course, like I have a button here on my Stream Deck that just takes me back to this plain view, and I have a button for other things. So as I'm moving around, if I hit the call to action, then that'll start scrolling for you. At least I think it will. I may have deleted it in all of my changing that I was doing in a hurry today. So those are some of the features. There are also, and these are things, I'm going to just kind of run through these and list them because they're features that I don't use. So I'm very particular. I'm not going to try to show you something I know that I don't use, but I will tell you that it exists. And then you can take the effort to go to Elgato's website, elgato.com, and learn more. There are page backgrounds that you can set. I never change the background on the pages. You can put a graphic on the Stream Deck as a page background. I would never use that because I like plain, so I would never use it. There are animated screensavers. So if you in the preferences, it is in the devices tab. Right here where it says screensaver, you can set the time for your Stream Deck screensaver to come on. Never 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. When I'm streaming, I change it to 2 hours. You can, just like on your computer setting a screensaver, you can set an image, and I'm going to pick an image from my desktop. You can pick an image and put that image on your screensaver. I just leave mine plain and let the thing come on. I never use this. So if it's something, if you're the type of person that you like those, you please feel free. Um, you can set a default profile. I just use my home, and my default profile is on each computer. It's different. So or each stream deck that's attached. I have multiple computers, multiple stream decks. So each one is different. On this one, it's this. It's I'll show you what it is, but it's just these are really pointers to other profiles that I have. That's the way I do it. So if you want to set a default profile, you can. And the way you set a default profile is in your profiles. If you edit, let's see here, I hit the wrong button. Oh, I got to go back. I laid this out to not do what I'm doing. You can edit your profiles and you can click a button that says, make this my default profile. What that does is if you select an item and then you don't touch the Stream Deck by itself will go back to that default profile. And I don't use that feature because when I go to a profile, I want it to stay where I have set it. I don't want it to change. So, I don't use it. If you would find use in it, please feel free to do so. The things that really make a difference for me, however, are the auto exit from folders. Love that feature. Copying the pages because I use quite a number of pages on the regular Stream Deck. I have the 15 key Stream Deck and I have the Stream Deck Plus. I have more than enough space to do what I want to do and what I need to do, but having the additional pages and being able to copy them and then modify them saves a lot of time and it helps me with consistency and being able to pin actions and folders. Those are the three features that are new since the last time I talked about the Stream Deck that are most useful in my use case. You may have something else that is useful in some of these other features, but those are the ones that I find most useful. So if you have another question, please go ahead and ask it. I would love to hear it. I don't see any other questions. If you use a Stream Deck, let me know. If you don't use a Stream Deck, I would love to know what's holding you back from trying it. This thing made such a huge difference in my use of computers when I started using it. My brain is attached to which button am I going to push to get something done. So if you do not use a Stream Deck, put a 1 in the chat. I would love to know. If you do use the Stream Deck, put a 2 in the chat. Give you a minute. So this month of June is all about the Stream Deck. I'm going to get into some of my use cases, specifically some of the things that I've changed to even get rid of some friction items that I found in my own workflows. Again, it's about smoothing out the way we get our work done and knowing and using tools to automate things that we do. And I am excited about this because I've gotten better. And as you can tell, I've added 2 more Stream Deck devices in my setup. So between the 3, I'm working a little bit differently, at least on this computer. And then on my other computers, I'm using the Stream Deck mobile app on it. Okay. That is all we have this evening. So I'm just going to say this to you all. So glad to have you here with us. And If you got joy out of it, go ahead and watch the video that's going to pop up here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the like button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you